Do you have any suggestions to help writers brainstorm for ideas?
Yes. Well, first of all, let's just imagine that we've got 10 tracks of our brain, okay? That our brain can do 10 things at one time. One of those tracks, if you're a writer, should be always sensitive to and aware of ideas. They're out there. They're out there all over the place. They're in newspaper articles. They're in conversations you hear with people at the coffee shop. They're on the radio. They're on your click thing that happens. I know, for example, David Rabinowitz and Charlie Wachtel, who wrote Black Klansman. And I interviewed them and I said, well, how did you guys come up with it? And I think David said, well, I was trying to avoid writing, and so I was just doing the click thing, and I stumbled on this Facebook article about this guy, Ron Stallworth, who was the first black policeman in Colorado Springs, who then did this thing with the Ku Klux Klan. So that's how they discovered it. So one thing is just be conscious of it. The other thing is be intentional. Like every day, you should be thinking about story ideas. Now, people are not going to necessarily, it's going to vary from person to person, but there have been times in my life where I literally said, I'm going to come up with an idea a day, every day. I'm going to come up, and a third point to that, and related, is Dr. Linus Pauling, who's the only person to win 2 Nobel Prizes. And he has that saying, the best way to come up with a good idea is to come up with a lot of ideas. And so that's a third point that you can do, is just generate a lot of ideas. Keep a file. Like I've got a Word file stretching back 20 some odd years with literally hundreds and hundreds of ideas, most of them awful. But you keep working that muscle. And then eventually, I think, chances are that you're going to surface something. Now, then you have to assess the ideas. And so there's certain questions you can ask, like, well, is this big enough to be a movie? Who's the audience for this? What's the hook? That central conceit. Like when I sold Canine, I remember going into an executive's office and they said, God, what you guys did was so brilliant. You took the buddy action comedy formula, the police cop, and you put in Ren 1010, who was like the biggest star in Hollywood back in the late 20s and 30s. And I learned a very valuable lesson there, which is that you always, when somebody gives you a compliment, even if you didn't mean it, you go, yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. So I said, yeah, that's exactly what we were thinking, because I hadn't thought that at all. But that idea, I could walk in, at that point in time in 1987, I could have walked into any producer's office or any bar where people were hanging out. What are you working on? I said, yeah, I got this idea, Canine. Loner cop, new partner, police dog. They would see that. So the hook there is the police dog. Nobody had done that, So you look for like Inception, the idea of being able to go inside someone's Groundhog Day, reliving that thing. What's that thing that's going to set it off from something else? So those are some keys. Have one part of your brain going, be intentional about it, be generating a lot of ideas and hoping that you'll come up with some really good ones, some strong ones off that, and then assess them to make sure that you feel like it's big enough and good enough to be a movie.